The Great Awakening is here, but the Great Awakening is about far, far more than just politics and QAnon and the cabal. This is going to seem really out there to a lot of people that aren't this far along in their awakening, because this is paradigm shattering stuff. This is about how far from reality we really are. The world that we live in is nothing like what they have told us that it is. So I'm just going to start by talking about petrification, the process by which organic matter exposed to minerals over a long period of time is turned into stone, actual bodies that were turned to stone through this process of mineralization. Animals and people turned to stone. There are tons of examples, but we'll start with this human leg, because this human leg was found inside a boot that could be identified by the boot company that was from Texas that began manufacturing boots in 1936. It's impossible that this is billions of years old. This human leg that was found inside this boot, the rest of the body is broken off through erosion and is probably in pieces all around that we just perceive as rocks. This boot has been through CAT scans and MRIs and has been tested, and all of it, there is a complete human foot and part of a leg in here, and now it is limestone. And here's another one, a fossilized human finger that has been found. They have dissected it. It has also been replaced with limestone, and this will lead to some research that I'm going to get into with a gentleman who calls things no-toes, and that's because these digits, once they're petrified, they break off. You could see how this could be mistaken for just an oval stone, and it is a stone, but it was also a human finger. So when we see petrification, things turn into all different types of stone, not just limestone. It just depends on the conditions, you know, the water levels, the amount of time, what type of sediment and minerals were in the sediment around that covered these things. Giant creatures once inhabited this place we call Earth. The Bible calls it the antediluvian age, the pre-flood era, the first Earth age. And I bring that up not to be religious, because the presence of water is key. Water, pressure, temperature, weight, enormous amounts of sediment covering these creatures all at once, suddenly. Things like that are very important to understand the petrification process, and that it does not take millions or billions of years. The entire Earth is covered in rocks that look exactly like huge animals. Geology was once biology. I want to stop and touch on the science behind this, the CAT scans, the MRIs, the DNA tests, all of the geology work and the anatomy work that is being done. It's being actively suppressed. Roger at Mud Fossils University, and he will talk about how the mud fossils line up with anatomy, the geology compared to anatomy. When we find veins in these stone.
All right, anybody's ever paid attention to the mud fossils knows that I talk about the veins and the arteries all the time. Your artery will come down with fresh red blood, and it has oxygen in it. And it pumps it down, and it goes through all these little blood vessels, and it comes out the other side of the vein and gets sucked back up, goes back up to get more oxygen. You see all these little tiny dots out here? That's the ends, that's where they stop. And there's a whole bunch of little tiny holes, and they go across. And here's what does happen. At the very end, this is a distal phalanges fingertip, exactly like you have here, only it's been deteriorated. And I have another one here that is not deteriorated. These are from giants, and it's just what they are. Now, and this one was the same thing. It didn't blow out at the end like this one did. This one is more deteriorated, and it blew out from, you see those two sides there? That's the that is the arterial side. It blows out because the arteries don't have any clamps, and it tries to push the blood, and they blow out there and out the end. It's the same exact thing as you see here. Now the other side, the vein side, doesn't, because that's being slurped back up to the heart, and they close off here. See the clamp? They clamp off here. You see that black thing right there? That's what's called a distal phalanges bone, the tip of the bone. And that is right in the tip of your finger. That's what it is. And that's the pattern that it makes when the bone bleeds out. It's a ferrous oxide that bleeds out through stuff, just like this is bleeding out. This is ferrous oxide to iron. Same as it bleeds out in the tissues in this. And this is a mud fossil kidney. And you can see all of the same articulations. You see these boom, 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 boom. They have the exact same things, but you can't see them as well. See them? Boom, 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 boom. Same things. In the mud fossils, they are so far superior. This is an opalized heart. These are the little heartstrings of the heart and all the different ventricle walls and everything. Now, you see all these different colors. You see that blue extends all the way around there? That didn't happen by accident. That tissue wants to have a transition metal to stabilize, which causes it to be blue. And carboxylation uses these transition metals to drive things around your body and deliver oxygen and pick up carbon dioxide and glucose and do all the different things that they do to provide your body with nutrients and minerals and flush it of the bad stuff. And that's what's in your blood. And these have to be there in the correct amounts, and they are mined by the bacteria that's in your body.
But he goes on to explain all about transition metals and the ion colors and how we get these veins, literal veins of amethyst, veins of gold, veins of silver, how these transition metals actually settle out during this petrification process and this mineralization process, and it produces all of these colors that we see in the stones around us. And we mine them. We mine these stones and we call them veins. Obviously, part of our subconscious remembers this, and they are literal veins.
You see that? That's from the transition metals that are in some of these specimens that I'm testing. We're running through with a microscope, and this is what we're seeing inside it. Now there's blood. The black is the vein blood. The red is the arterial blood. That's the blood supply. And then you have your transition metals. And there's gold in here. There's gold, and there's all kinds of different. It's called electrum.
We have a ton of problems with the geological column. We have built error upon error, or maybe deception upon deception and lie upon lie, to get to this place where we have a total misconception of world history and a total misconception of geology. At its core, what the rocks actually are, what the earth is actually made of. The Vatican secreted away all of the historical records they could during the Crusades and all of that, and the Smithsonian has done the same. Obviously, the mystery schools have passed this knowledge down through these secret societies, retained this knowledge from ancient times, and they have passed it down through their mystery schools. The earth is a carcass of dead creatures, that the ground was alive. We have this notion of Gaia, that Earth itself is alive, that the Earth is alive, that it's a living organism. And what are the stars and what are the planets, really? And Roger seems to agree. He goes so far to suggest in some of his work that large swaths of land can be identified as things like fallopian tubes, and he can watch, mitochondrial DNA and things like that found in the land of the Earth itself.